Hello and welcome back to the Media Centre here at Photokina 2018. We are here on the Canon stand where I am joined by Pulitzer Prize winning photojournalist, writer. It's Daniel Etter now. Daniel joining us today here on the Canon booth. He's going to be speaking on the Spotlight stage later on. Daniel, you've covered war zones, you've covered the migrant crisis in Europe, and you've just been working on a project very recently where you took a trip to Romania to go right inside some coal mines. Tell me more about that.
So a few months ago, Canon asked me if I wanted to test a new camera, and we're thinking about a place and a story where we can really take it to the extremes. And I found conditions for that in that area in Romania, where it's one of the last remaining places where they mine for hard coal underground. So after trying to get permissions for months, fighting with post-communist bureaucracy, we finally managed to get in and go down there with the coal miners. 300 meters underground, about a 45-minute walk until the front where they're actually working and getting the coal out of the ground.
And what were conditions like down in there? I mean, it's challenging conditions for a human, let alone for a camera. So what was it like, your journey from the surface down to the coalface?
Well, there was a reason why it took so long to get permissions, because it's quite dangerous. First of all, there's gas, methane, coming out of the coal when they break it, which could ignite. So they had to check my camera if it doesn't emit sparks, which normally cameras don't do, but still you have to be careful. And then you go down 300 meters in an elevator that doesn't look like an elevator. It's just like a metal cage that is rusting and wet and dripping. And then, as I said, you walk for 45 minutes and the tunnels get smaller and smaller, and it feels like you're walking past history. You still see like the coal lorries left behind, beams mangled up coming out of everywhere. There's streams of water flowing underground, and it gets smaller and smaller, and then the coal bells are like screaming and screeching next to you. And then until you get to the front where the men are actually working, it's super warm. It's like in a sauna, and funnily it smells like it too, for some reason. Of course, conditions to photograph there is incredibly difficult, because on the one hand, there's no light, and on the other hand, the only light source are headlamps, so that move around quite a lot. So within every fraction of a second, the light situation down there changes. So it's either pitch black or super bright. So even though you're down there with absolutely no natural light, you're shooting at like ISO 1600, because once the light beam hits the face, it's quite bright. So you have to anticipate a lot, and you have to get the frame right, and then just like wait for a very long time until everything is in place and you get that photo.
And you mentioned the camera you took down there, the authorities tried to take apart to take a look at. Of course, it was a prototype camera. It was the EOS R that's being showcased behind us here. Yeah. Did you let them take it apart?
No, but they probably don't want to talk.
No. Maybe we shouldn't go there in that case.
No, they looked at it, but it was fine, and they were carrying around. There was a guy with me who had a little device that could measure gas concentration, so he's checking for it around me all the time, just to be on the safe side.
And in terms of the images that you were capturing down there, you talked about the harsh conditions, and low light performance on a camera is going to be very, very important, and the EOS R's got some really good smarts in that area. You were capturing some images of the coal miners, including some portraits as well. Tell me, whenever you're capturing portraits, it's important to build that connection with your subjects. How was that for you, an outsider? You've got a language barrier, all kinds of stuff going on. What was your approach to creating those portraits that we can see on the tower behind us?
Well, first of all, I had a really good translator who was really good with people, and through him I could build a connection to them. And then the other important thing, the people were suspicious, because basically they've had bad press for the past 20, 30 years because of environmental concerns, because of work condition concerns, out of during the height of it, there were 120,000 people working there. Now it's like 3,000. So they feel threatened, and they don't feel that media is on their side for a reason, because we are slowly getting away from coal. So they were suspicious of somebody they associate to be with media at first. But then you spend time with them, and you spend time in very difficult, very challenging conditions, and they see that you respect their work, and they acknowledge that. And I think through that you build trust, and you build a rapport with them. So then you can like do something else and do portraits, And then simple things. We went to play football with them. I mean, because we enjoyed it. But it also builds trust, like simple things. And in general, people were just really nice, to be honest. I didn't expect. I actually thought they were more suspicious than they were, but still there was a barrier that we had to overcome.
Well, listen, Daniel, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio today. I know you're going to be speaking on the Superstage and in the CPS Lounge later on. I wish you all the very best of luck with those talks. If you want to come and see Daniel, perhaps ask him some questions of your own, then make your way here to the Canon booth, Hall 3.2 here at Photokina 2018. And of course, keep it locked to @Canon Events on Twitter. Find us on the Facebook page as well for more interviews, more hands-on with the kit here. We'll be back later on. Bye-bye for now.